Am I the asshole for not allowing my DIL to join a camping trip and doubling down on it? Edit. I think some people are confused. We kayak to the first campsite, sleep, kayak to the next sleep, and kayak to the final spot, and head home. I am an outdoors person, and before the weather gets too cold, I do a camping trip. We kayak down to the river, make camp on the bank. It is a lot of fun, and is a 2-night trip. I have done this with all of my kids, and have started to invite their spouses. Some show up and some don't. Not everyone likes camping. The river we kayak on can get fast and choppy in places. I have a strict no kids under 10 rules, and that they have to good swimmers. This brings me to my son's wife, Jane, fake name. Jane cannot swim at all. She never learned as a child, and she still hasn't learned as an adult. The most I have ever seen her do is go into the shallow, end in a pool. My son wanted to invite Jane, and I told him no, that this is safety concern because she cannot swim. Jane was very upset about it, and told me it would be fine. I told her no again, and if she learns how to swim, she can come next year. Jane is upset, and my son is also upset. He has told me he can't go if she isn't invite, and I stuck to my decision. He is also no happy with me either. Not the asshole. You might try sorry son, but I like your wife and don't want to be responsible for her death. Not the asshole. I kayak every year and am a decent swimmer. No way would I do fast and choppy in a kayak, even with a life vest, especially if I couldn't swim at all. Told me it would be fine. She can't guarantee that. And if it's not fine, it goes south 0-100 real fast. Not the asshole. I understand him bowing out if his wife isn't going, but this is a matter of basic safety. Why is he willing to risk his wife's life? Not the asshole at all. I had a lovely young coworker who grew up outdoorsy, great swimmer. Her kayak flipped and she drowned. Safety will always come first. Not the asshole. She isn't equipped to go on this trip, and there is also nothing wrong with your son's decision to stay behind. You'd think as her husband, he'd be more concerned with her safety. Not the asshole because it's not just Jane's life at risk. People die trying to save drowning victims. Am I the asshole for refusing to keep covering my co-worker's shifts when she still owes me $700? I, 23F, work at a coffee shop with Kayla, 26F. 15 months ago, she was sobbing about vet bills and rent, so I lent her $800 cash. We wrote it down, both signed it, she promised to pay back. But I've gotten exactly $100 total since then. Meanwhile, she's out getting new tattoos, Uggs, concerts, the usual. I've covered at least 14 of her shifts this past year due to hangovers, dates, I'm tired, babysitter issues, etc. Never once complained. She has never covered for me, not even when I've asked in advance. Last night she texted begging me to take her opening shift today because she's exhausted. I just worked a double and was scheduled to close again. I told her no, that I'm done covering until she pays back the $700 she still owes me. She freaked out, called me heartless, played the single mom card, then posted a vague sob story in the work group chat. Now half the team thinks I'm a harsh for holding money over her head. I'm out almost $800 and tired of being her doormat. Am I the asshole for finally saying no? Not the asshole. This seems very manipulative. She essentially scammed you of $700 and then repeatedly asked to cover her shift for unjustified reasons. Hangovers are entirely her fault. Dates are her fault for scheduling, etc. She's using you to cover her arbitrary life issues interfering with work, then played the victim. If things don't go well, just take her to small claims at this point. Now half the team thinks I'm a harsh for holding money over her head. Then there's nothing stopping them from covering her shift or paying you your $700. Not the asshole. If she would work her scheduled shifts, she'd have the money to pay you back. Not the asshole. Should have said no a lot earlier. Like when she was crying about rent and vet bills. Not the asshole, but when you get the money back, don't lend her any money again. People like this will always be skint and paying for expensive stuff, meal and going out. She made it public by taking it to the work chat. You need to, in the work chat, list 1. When money was lent, agreement for repayment, when the $100 was repaid, amount outstanding. 2. The number of concerts, tattoos and expensive items you know she's got since then instead of repaying you. 3. Number of shifts you've covered for her since then. 4. Number of times she's refused to cover for you. 5. How many hours you would have worked having come off the double and needing to close if you'd covered for her, and the fact this was the first refusal. Then state anyone who has an issue can cover for her. Then you need to let her know if she doesn't repay you in the next month, you're taking her to small claims court. Am I the asshole for expressing my surprise that my fiancé didn't know who Muhammad Ali was? Hi, the other day my fiancé and I were watching baseball, and the infographic and commentary were showing some stats of Babe Ruth. So I told her she doesn't really watch that much baseball. That Babe Ruth was like the Muhammad Ali of baseball. She asked me who Muhammad Ali was, and I said, Muhammad Ali. She was still confused, and I realized she didn't know who Muhammad Ali was, so I said, how do you not know who Muhammad Ali is? And I told her about him. I noticed she was quite afterwards, so I asked if she was good, and she said she was hurt at the way I had been surprised at her not knowing who Muhammad Ali was. I said he wasn't just a boxer, he was a cultural icon, so it just took me by surprise that she didn't know who he was. Then yesterday she came across something on her Instagram, and was showing it to me. It was about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. She asked me what I thought about her, and I said I actually don't know a lot about her, I know of her, but not why she's famous. She then feigned surprise, and was like, you don't know who Kylie Jenner is? I realized she was still hurt over the Muhammad Ali thing, so I didn't say anything. I didn't point out that it wasn't really the same thing. Kylie Jenner wasn't an icon the way Muhammad Ali was, and I had heard of her anyway. But she seems to still be hurt by what I said. Was I the AH? Edit. Going to put some of my replies here. A lot of people are asking about our ages. I'm 29, she's 27. And as for how I reacted in the moment. So when the infographic popped up I said Babe Ruth is like the Muhammad Ali of baseball. She said, who's Muhammad Ali? I honestly thought maybe she knew multiple important Muhammad Alis, so I said, Muhammad Ali. And she still didn't recognize him, and again said Muhammad Ali who? And then I just said in a regular tone, how do you not know who Muhammad Ali is? She said, why would I know of some Muhammad Ali? And then I was stunned for a couple of seconds, maybe that showed on my face, and then I went over who he was. This just makes me think of the XKCD comic, where there are two ways to handle someone not knowing a specific reference. You could be an ass and say, how can you not know about this? Everyone knows about it. Or you could go in with genuine excitement and go, you don't know about this thing. Let me share with you how awesome this is. How did you go about it? My dad is a college professor. For many decades, he could give an example using the Looney Tunes, or the characters in Scooby-Doo, or Batman. There were so many pop culture references that were common knowledge. Now, he struggles to find anything that all of his students recognize. What I'm trying to say is, society has become more fragmented. My son can watch content on his specific microinterests on YouTube. He doesn't have to watch Looney Tunes because it's the only thing on. Your girlfriend is not unusual. There are simply too many topics to keep up with. NH, but I would apologize if you made her feel ignorant. This sounds like NH, honestly, just that you're both being kind of obtuse, and you'd better communicate a little better or you're going to end up on the rocks. I realized she didn't know who Muhammad Ali was, so I said, how do you not know who Muhammad Ali is? Tone matters a lot. Even if you don't think your tone was insulting, half of it is how it's taken. You should probably have a quiet conversation and just genuinely apologize, because she's clearly hurt. It's not as hard as it sounds to just say, hey, I'm really sorry. I should have been more thoughtful the other day, so it didn't seem like I was talking down to you. I promise I wasn't, but I'm sorry I was careless about it. I'm more surprised she doesn't know Babe Ruth, to be honest. You are the asshole. She asked you who Muhammad Ali was, and you responded with, Muhammad Ali? And then you're surprised she's still confused? She asked you who it was. Why would she do that unless she expected you to actually explain it? Not the asshole. I'd be surprised too, and probably not hide it well. I'm a woman, not American by the way, and of course I know who Ali was. I know about Babe Ruth, too, and I've never even watched baseball. Am I the asshole for accidentally bumping into someone? So some context, we have this employee, mid-20 SM, we'll call him Todd, at work who tends to not be aware of his surroundings and doesn't pay attention. So today at work I, 33F, was walking towards a desk when Todd was walking around the area. I noticed if I continued on the current path we were going to walk into each other, so I moved towards to the side and continued walking. At the last moment, Todd ended up changing directions, and we very gently bumped into each other. He then says to me, "An excuse me would be helpful to know you're there." I responded, "I already moved out of the way to avoid bumping into each other, but it's no big deal, it's all good." Then Todd said, "You need to say excuse me still." I shrugged and decided to let it go. Wasn't worth arguing about, and it wasn't like anyone got hurt. Later, I was walking by his desk, and I heard him tell people that I ran into him, which is definitely not what happened. It's been a really rough week since my coworker is out sick, so I've taken over her responsibilities along with mine. So I started crying, not my finest moment. I decided to bring it up to a manager, not to get him in trouble, which I said to the manager. But basically to CYA, so if it were to get back to the managers, they would know my side of the story. The manager ended up talking to Todd, and it's clear Todd is mad at me. I personally feel he made a situation into a bigger deal than it needed to be, but maybe I'm in the wrong for escalating it to management. Things can spread like wildfires, so I wanted to shut down an untrue rumor about me before it went through the entire building. So, am I the asshole? Sounds to me like Todd has entitled male syndrome. Women are supposed to apologize to him when he's an asshole because he's the most important person in the room. Not the asshole next time. Tell him to watch where he's going. Not the asshole taking offense because someone did not react the way you wanted them to is an unfortunate development in our society. Todd needs to get over himself. I probably would have said sorry or excuse me even though the collision was his fault. But I can't fault anyone for ignoring the situation. Not the asshole. I don't move for men. I let them walk into me and say, "Excuse you," loudly and in the rudest tone I can muster. Fuck them. He's probably an unapologetic man-spreader, too. Don't make yourself small for anyone. Not the asshole. Wise of you to bring it to HR's attention. Todd sounds like a troublemaker, an deep keckhead. I'd have said don't talk to me like that. You bumped into me. I moved and you purposely hit me. You need to watch where you're going. Fucking Todd.